right, Mixes and Rhodes Show supporters. Well, this is going to continue to happen with the mainstream media until people start, I believe, in mass droves, start suing the mainstream media for just going on TV and just blatantly lying. And it just so happens the last couple of days it's been nothing but what? Bloodbath, 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 bloodbath. And then the media is doubling down and saying, well, even with context, he obviously means bloodbath towards the country if he's not reelected. Talking about Trump, right, at the Ohio rally. Now, we know, I mean, one of the outlets last night, conservative outlets, actually pieced together like a greatest hits compilation over the last couple of years of all these mainstream media outlets using the word bloodbath to describe economics, Biden, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was like 27 of them or something. It was ridiculous. But yet, what's good for us is not good for you. So, Nancy Mace was on with George Stephanopoulos. Yeah, Stephanopoulos? What is his name? Yeah, who cares? Snuffleupagus, as far as I'm concerned, all right? The guy belongs on Sesame Street. Well, Nancy Mace was on with him. I don't know how she thought that was going to go. In an interview with about Iger Carroll and the liability civil lawsuit that Trump ended up losing. Another one of these, in my opinion, political crusades to try to financially inhibit Donald Trump. They think if they can take his money, he won't be able to run for president. And all they've done is actually exploded his popularity. Well, this is the exchange, and the exchange for George did not go so well. Okay, so listen to this exchange. This is just from a few days ago. Well, Trump has decided to hit back at some of the wording that George Stephanopoulos decided to use, Snuffleupagus, decided to use in his interview.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about the man
But as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. My political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who was an illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And you've courageously talked about that.
Because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting
me. You're
someone who's been found liable for rape. Actually, I'm not trying to shame you.
You are. That's exactly what you're doing.
You're not answering the question.
I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for rape?
I just answered your question.
What is the answer?
He was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. It was sexual abuse. It wasn't actually rape, by the way. And Iger Carroll joked about all the money she's going to get and made a mockery out of this case. And I think that's offensive. There's a reason why women don't come forward. And when you have someone who says that they're raped and they make a mockery out of this civil court judgment, it's offensive to other women. It makes it harder for other women to come forward when another woman has made a mockery of it.
You said women don't come forward because they are afraid. They are afraid because they're defamed
and shamed
by those
like you're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the rape. That's what Donald Trump has been found guilty of doing.
He defended himself over that and denies that it ever happened, but he was not found guilty in a criminal court of law.
Okay, so that was the exchange. Now, he kept trying to say that Trump was liable for rape, and criminally, no, he was not. And because of that, Trump has had enough, and who could blame him? I mean, hell, everybody's trying to sue him. It's about time he comes back and hits back, and that's exactly what he's done. He's filed a lawsuit against George Stephanopoulos and ABC for calling him a rapist during an interview with Nancy Mace. And this is going to continue to happen until these entities are hit in their pocketbook for a hell of a lot of money. Now, keep in mind, ABC's owned by an entity that we cover a lot on this channel, and that's the no good rat bastards at Disney. Bob Iger, Disney, they're all running the ship and driving it politically, whether it's on the entertainment side or the news side, either one. So, former President Donald Trump has filed a defamation lawsuit against ABC News and George Stephanopoulos, Snuffleupagus, alleging intentional harm and false statements made with malicious intent. I don't know why I can't say this bastard's last name. The Gateway Pundit previously reported that sniveling former Bill Clinton henchman George Stephanopoulos' attempt to shame Nancy Mace as a rape victim blew up in his face on ABC's This Week. He started his interrogation Sunday by demanding to know why she endorsed President Trump after a corrupt leftist jury, and we all know it was a politically driven situation, found him liable for defaming certified nut E. Jean Carroll. By the way, she went on with Rachel Maddow, and she made an absurd mockery of this ruling. Just blatantly bragging about how she's going to spend this money, talking about buying like clothes and things of that nature for Rachel Maddow. I mean, it was obvious that this was some kind of a ploy to get after Trump. Carroll had outlandishly claimed Trump had raped her. Mace responded by speaking briefly about her own dramatic rape experience at the age of 16 and blistered Stephanopoulos for daring to lecture her. It's a shame you will never feel, George. I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not going to do that. She demolished him with cold hard facts. She correctly noted that this was not a criminal court case, and that E. Jean Carroll's jokes about all the products she was going to buy, there you go, after the $83 million judgment, had made a mockery out of a rape. Yeah. The lawsuit filed by Brito P. LLC on behalf of President Trump seeks to address the damaging impact of the corporation's actions on his reputation and character. George Stephanopoulos, during the airing of his weekly television show This Week with George Stephanopoulos, falsely stated on several occasions that Trump had been found liable by multiple juries on the rape of Miss E. Jean Carroll. These statements were and remain false and were made by defendant Stephanopoulos with actual malice or with reckless disregard for the truth, given that the defendant knows that these statements are patently and demonstrably false. Indeed, the jury expressly found that Trump did not commit rape. The defendant was aware of the jury's findings in regard, yet still falsely stated. Defendants American Broadcasting Company and ABC participated in the publishing of false and defamatory statements made by the defendant and or otherwise authorized, approved, or consented to the defendants making false and defamatory statements about the plaintiff. The plaintiff has suffered and will continue to suffer harm as a direct result of the defendant's conduct. And there's the lawsuit right there, filed down in, it looks like the Miami Division, United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, Miami Division. So Trump's had enough. I don't blame him. I mean, they go out there, they continue to spread lies, and the only way it stops, I assume, unless they've decided or built this into their business, that this is the cost of doing business if they get nailed by one of these, somebody's going to have to stop them. It's going to have to be multiple and many lawsuits against these places to get them to stop doing this kind of thing and just going out on TV and making false statements, blatantly false statements, and just trying to destroy this guy's character. Now, luckily, and you saw this with the bloodbath thing, the playing field is trying to get leveled out, right? The bloodbath hole started, and within a few hours, it had been stomped out, the fire, many, multiple times over by millions of people retweeting that the statement that the mainstream media, the narrative that they were trying to build was false. Same thing with this bogus Carroll lawsuit. I mean, it seems like all these things are all politically driven. You kind of see that in banana republics, do you not? I mean, Fannie Willis, Letitia James, E. Jean Carroll, all this crap. And it's all because they don't want the guy to be the president again. And the media is trying to fan those flames continuously. You got to nail them in the pocketbook. You know, I mean, James is trying to take all that money out of New York, get some of it back. You know, it's a damn shame that this is what's happening to this guy that's trying to defend his country, but they hate him. They can't stand him. He's trying to fight Marxism. And he's trying to push an America First agenda when all these places are anti-American. You know, they hate people like you and me. And him, President Trump. Tell me what you think, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters. Disney, ABC. That's the rottenest roosters in the hen house, I think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.